Detective Elena Marlowe was a sharp-witted one, an ironclad worker, and a rock-steady calm. For 5 years, she had pursued one spectre through the shadows of Europe, Damian Cross, a master criminal spoken of in police reports like a dark legend. He had never been apprehended, always staying 3 steps ahead. And now, in a bitter irony, her superiors were requesting she partner with him. Undercover? Elena's voice sliced like a steel blade through the briefing room. With him? Chief Donovan pushed forward, his cigar burning low. You don't have a choice. Damian is the only one who really understands the Syndicate. They are plotting something massive. And you, he poked a finger at her, are the only one who's familiar enough with his methods to keep him from running amok. Elena's jaw clenched. She recalled the endless nights tracking his path, the scenes of crime he had left behind, always sophisticated, always taunting. She'd vowed she'd be the one to bring him down. And now, she was forced to sit across from him like some sort of colleague? The door opened. And there he stood. Damian Cross. Tall, lean, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit even though he was technically in custody. His dark hair fell slightly across his brow, and his smile was the kind that could charm or disarm depending on his intentions. Well, he said smoothly, eyes gleaming with mischief. Detective Marlowe. I'd say this is fate, but fate usually isn't this entertaining. Elena's fists clenched under the table. This isn't entertaining. It's a job. Damian relaxed against the chair, smirk never wavering. So let's get to work, detective. You be this person who doesn't despise me, and I'll be this person you can trust. For the first time in years, Elena was at someone else's mercy. And it was just the start. Their first case as a team was straightforward on paper. Go into a Marseille Syndicate club, retrieve information, and leave without being seen. Straightforward, until Elena was reminded she needed to pass herself off as Damian's girlfriend. I'm not taking your hand, she snapped as they stood outside the Parisian-style neon sign at the club door. Oh, but you are, Damian whispered, wrapping an arm around her waist before she could stop him. Authenticity, detective. The devil's in the details. She tensed, her heartbeat betraying her serene mask. If you so much as squeeze my... Relax. His tone was low, taunting. I'm saving that for later. Her elbow jabbed sharply into his ribs, which produced a muffled grunt. Funny, she thought darkly, how that felt. Within the club, Damian whispered directions, directing her with brief strokes on her back. Elena despised the way skilled he was, how effortlessly he moved through the underworld scum, how easily he fit in. She'd spent years tracking him. Now she was walking with him as if they were peers. A syndicate lieutenant approached them once. Damian, thought you were dead. Rumors of my demise have always been exaggerated, Damian said smoothly, then kissed Elena's cheek with deliberate slowness. Allow me to introduce my fiancée. Elena nearly choked. Fiancée? The lieutenant grinned. She's lovely. You've upgraded. Elena's hand itched to grab her gun. Instead, she smiled sweetly. Upgraded? He's the lucky one. Damian's chuckle vibrated against her shoulder. For once, she couldn't tell if it was mockery or genuine amusement. That night, as they debriefed, Damian leaned close. You're good at this. Almost makes me wonder if you've been undercover with me all along. Don't flatter yourself, she shot back. But part of her knew the line between lies and truth was already blurring. Days turned into weeks. Elena and Damian moved through shadows. Casinos in Monaco, backrooms in Barcelona, hidden villas in Sicily. Each step closer to the Syndicate, each step closer to danger. And something else grew between them, an unspoken tension. One night, after narrowly escaping a firefight in Naples, Elena found herself patching a graze on Damian's arm. You're reckless, she muttered, pressing gauze to his skin. And you're bossy, he replied, wincing but smiling. We make quite the pair. She tried not to notice how close they were, how the scent of his cologne lingered in the air between them. "You've killed people," she whispered suddenly. He grew quiet. His usual smirk faded. "Yes, and not all of them deserved it. But some were worse than me." Elena froze. She expected denial, arrogance, anything but this honesty. That evening, she couldn't sleep. She kept reciting his words, thinking that the man she had been pursuing for so long was more complicated than she had let herself think. Their next assignment almost cost them their lives. While following a syndicate cargo in Marseille harbor, they came under attack. Bullets pinged off metal containers, and they dove for cover. Elena shot back with precision, but she was outnumbered. Then Damian pushed her out of the way, intercepting a bullet aimed at her. "Damian," she pulled him to cover. Blood oozed through his sleeve, but he grinned even as pain marked his face. "Don't get so concerned, detective," he growled. "You'll hurt your reputation." Her fingers trembled as she leaned against his injury. "You fool. You might have died." He pinned her wrist, his eyes fixed on hers. "Better me than you." For one giddy instant, the universe narrowed to him and her alone. His black gaze, her quivering lips, the chemistry between them undeniable. But before anything further could occur, reinforcements arrived, and the moment was destroyed. The deeper they went, the clearer the picture became. The syndicate wasn't just smuggling weapons, it was trafficking intelligence, selling government secrets. And Damian? He wasn't trying to rebuild his empire. He was trying to destroy the syndicate from within. Elena confronted him one night in a crumbling Venetian safe house. "All this time," she demanded, "you've been playing me? Playing them? What's your real game, Damian?" He gazed at her, the cocky mask slipping. "My brother. They killed him when he tried to escape. All I've done since then? It's been for him." Her heart twisted. She had braced herself for lies, for manipulation. Not for grief. "You could have told me. Would you have believed me?" he asked softly. Silence lay between them, weighed down by unspoken things. She did want to hate him, needed to hate him, but all she could do was reach out and take his hand. The leader of the syndicate, Victor Moretti, was going to auction pilfered intelligence to the highest bidder in Vienna. Elena and Damian's cover was about to be blown, but they came up with one final desperate plan: infiltrate the gala, expose Victor, and dismantle the syndicate once and for all. To blend in, Damian was forced to wear an absurd disguise, thick glasses and a fake moustache. Elena smiled as she tightened his tie. "You resemble a failed magician. And you resemble someone who's doing her level best not to fall in love with me," he retorted. Even with the chips on the table, she laughed, an uncontrolled, uncomplicated laugh she hadn't known she was missing. At the ball, pandemonium reigned. Victor uncovered their deceit, and a shootout exploded through chandeliers and champagne fountains. Elena and Damian fought back-to-back, seamless in their unspoken synchrony. Finally, Damian tackled Victor, pinning him as Elena slapped the cuffs on. "Victor Moretti, you're under arrest." The syndicate was finished. But the hardest decision still lay ahead. Back at headquarters, Damian came face-to-face with the inevitable. He wasn't escaping his past misdeeds. Chief Donovan rested his weight against his desk. "He's going away, Elena. Don't get sentimental." Damian had made a deal, however, his testimony against the syndicate in return for leisure time. On the steps outside the courthouse, just before being led inside, Damian caught Elena's eye. "You know, detective," he whispered, "for years you pursued me. And I thought if you ever apprehended me, that would be the end of my book." Her throat constricted. "And now?" He smiled, gentler this time. "Now it feels like it might just be the start." On impulse, she kissed him. Fast, hard, before the officers could pull them apart. The world came to a halt, and for once, Elena didn't feel like she was losing herself. She felt like she discovered something she wasn't supposed to find. Hazardous, yes, but true. As Damian was taken away, he looked back at her, eyes sparkling with that ready-to-play mischief. And Elena Marlowe knew this wasn't the end. It was a hazardous, gorgeous start.